Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to another one. Hope all is well. I'm here to react to Coach Prime live press conference. My bad, I muted myself, but I'm here to react to Coach Prime live press conference. He said some things early on in the press conference that a lot of teams, a lot of teams have to deal with, and that's redshirting. And I understand why players want a red shirt because if they feel like they're not getting any adequate playing time, they want to preserve their year in hopes of maybe going to another team or coming back to the team to produce the next year. So I get it. But I think he said in his several people requested the red shirt. I don't know how many that are red shirting. And let me see. Let me take a look. Let's see here. They didn't really say yet. I don't know. I don't think they it just says two Colorado linebackers requested to redshirt for the remainder of the season. And yeah. So I think maybe they'll release. I'm not sure if they release that type of information on how many people redshirt. I think you just have to go on what you see on the field and who plays special teams and stuff like that. Because if you play special teams for the whole season, that's not a red shirt because you're actually playing in a game. So you don't preserve that season. But I know red shirts, they get to play a certain amount of games before they request a red shirt. And again, I understand it, but a lot of teams go through it. Some of these players actually were playing. They were getting some playing time, but maybe they feel like for some players, if it's a senior or it's one person that only had 1 year left of eligibility and he's not playing, why waste that year? You know what I mean? Because if it was me, and let's say this is my last year eligibility and I'm third or fourth on the depth chart, and I transferred in thinking I'm going to get significant time, I'm going to redshirt to preserve that year so I can either go to another team that need my services, stuff like that. But Coach Prime was like, why don't these players just leave now? Why don't they change the rules? So maybe there might be a rule change at some point. But I know that the rule is they could still practice with the team. And he's going to mention that in his press conference. So I'm going to give my thoughts on that. But I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to the show. And so let's get started. I have to play the audio on this. So that's what I'm going to do. And so let's get into the press conference.
Benson, sociology, and Charlie Harperdall, as usual. Developmental biology. TV with Arizona game announced for Fox. That gives us 6 games on network television this season. Through 5 games, we're number 2 nationally. Most viewership with 21.5 viewers. We're the only team through week 5 in the top 5 games of every week. Defensive buffs giving up just 7 points in the third quarter this season and just 5.2 points per game in the second half. CU is one of the 6 teams in the nation that has not allowed 100-yard rusher or receiver this season at the line 14 last year. Good Lord Jesus. God, that is staggering. PFF grades, Sammy, BJ Arden, all ranking the top 10 in the Big 12, which I don't know what PFF really is. I don't know who really looks at it. Nikhil Green ranked second. I don't know what I'm not going to even bore you with that. Jordan Seaton named to the on 3, which is one of the publications that's not one of my favorites. He's the freshman All-American team. Micah leads all true freshmen with 3 rushing touchdowns. I thought we don't recruit guys out of high school. My bad. Your name to mid-season. I'm not going to do that because you.
Yeah, he just said, I like how he works the media. He was like, I thought we don't recruit players out of high school, because I was thinking about that. People say, they don't do a lot of recruiting in high school, but they have freshmen on the team right now that's getting some meaningful minutes. Michael Welch, Jordan Seaton, as we know, they're getting a lot of meaningful time, and there's a lot of other freshmen on the team as well. But yeah.
See, I'm talking about my son, Travis. Not gonna do that because he's just like my son. Anyway, glad to be here. Great walk. Campus is beautiful. Hospitality is great when you're winning. We all know that. But love where we are, but we're not comfortable by any means. Let's go. Ladies first.
Coach, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. With the news with Woods and Brown opting for redshirt, has anyone had that conversation with you about having a redshirt?
Yeah.
Could you say
several guys? You got to understand that.
All right, so let me stop right there real quick. He said several guys. He didn't say that several are redshirting, but several have had talks about redshirting. And now he's going to give his take on this whole redshirting process. Like, are you redshirting for the team, or are you redshirting to go somewhere else? And if so, they're still allowed to practice with the team. So
I understand it and I always want what's best for the kids. I really do. Like, that's their prerogative. But it kind of puts us in a situation, because now is there a question, are you redshirting for us or are you redshirting for you? And it should be NCAA rules and guidelines that if you choose that particular course, not that our guys are, we should be able to allow you to go. Because if a guy is redshirting for himself and he don't plan on being here, why would you want him here and he don't plan on being here? That's really not fair to him. It's not fair to his teammates. It's a lot of unfairness, like the gentleman who chose the red shirt, the quarterback. So is it right that he's still practicing or with the team? Like, what course of action is that? Does he? I don't know. Does he? You guys tell me. Does he still practice?
He's not.
So you just let him walk away. It should be something. It needs to be a rule NCAA-wise to, if that's your course of action, they should let them go and start their next journey with the whatever team that is that they've already been talking to, because they've already been talking. Just like the two guys from that we played several weeks ago at Colorado State. They said they were offered how much in the portal?
$600,000.
How you offered $600 and you didn't get in the portal?
I got time today.
Y'all ask that question. How are you offered $600,000 but you didn't get in the portal? I got time today.
All right, he said he got time today. He was talking about Nicolosi, the quarterback, and the wide receiver from Colorado State. They were offered a lot of money to leave Colorado State. I remember the coach coming out and talking about it, the Colorado State coach. He said they weren't even in the portal. So with that said, that is tampering. And that's in violation of NCAA rules. Now, my question is, did Fowler, Nicolosi, and the wide receiver, did they tell the team who the coaches were? And then they could report that to the NCAA. But I haven't heard anything happening to those other teams that allegedly offered them $600,000. There's a way for them to do it that I heard. I heard that teams, they have another party reach out to the players. It's not a person that is officially with the school, but they got people that reach out to the players that are not in the transfer portal, say, hey, listen, they just drop them a kite, a message, and say, hey, listen, if you get in the portal, we're going to take you, and this is what we got to offer you. Now, if you go report that to your school and report the person, their phone number, if they investigate it, that person is not going to come back related to the school, and then the school is only going to deny that they don't know that person. So it's a whole game that they play. All teams are going through it. with this whole transfer portal thing now and NILs and back money and stuff like that, it's almost operating like a mini NFL. And it's a lot of tampering I heard that's going on. And that's why Prime said, I got time today. Like, how come nothing didn't happen about that? And, he's talking about his players that are opting to redshirt. Are they opting to redshirt for the team, or are they trying to go somewhere else? More than likely, the player is opting for themselves. If they're redshirting, you're doing it for yourself because you don't want to lose this year and you're third on the depth chart. I could see it both ways. I could see why Prime and them, they'll say, look, if you're going to redshirt, let's let the kid go. But at the same time, if you have 1 year left of eligibility, why waste it? This is your last opportunity to play in college, and you're third or fourth on the depth chart. I think it's right for them to redshirt. But I could see it both ways from a coach's standpoint because they might need that player at some point in the season, for depth, just in case if someone gets hurt. And also it puts them in a very precarious situation because the player is still practicing with them. When they leave that team, they carry that knowledge with them of that team. What if they go play for, one of the opposition? Now they got intel, so I understand both sides here on why he's talking about, hey, man, it's okay for them to redshirt, but are they doing it for us? And if they're doing it for us, can they sign something to say, yeah, you're definitely coming back with the team? But right now, as it stands right now, the rules are if a player redshirts, he gets to practice with the team and for the rest of the year, for the rest of the season, regardless. And the coach can't kick him off the team. So maybe they're going to be rule changes as this NIL and collectives and back money still go on, because it's only going to increase. But again, it's a business decision for the player. If he feels like there's another team that needs his services, why waste that year though? But yeah, I get it though. But how come that other team that offered this amount of money, how come they weren't investigated?
All right, let's move on. Taylor, how you doing? Wonderful.
Fantastic. So I would say fantastic to get your boys' bodies rest and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes.
But you as a head coach, how does that just like do for you?
I go to Texas, which is vacation for me. I go and really relax and recalibrate my mind. And the staff knows that been with me. They know when I get back is on. They know when I get back, I got a list of like 30 things that I want implemented expeditiously. They know I'm calling while I'm gone and I'm gearing up. I want videos. I want this. I want that. So it's tougher on the coaches when I get away because I come back with much more passion, and than I already have. And that's a lot of passion. So I love it, but I wish you can continue to play in the realm that we were playing in, but also we had some guys banged up that needed a week off for sure. So I'm happy about it.
Ryan, go ahead. Hey, Coach.
What's going on?
I'm sorry, Howard. You talked last week about the UCF game and how the extra hours and time in the hotel led to extra film hours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that could be a kind of like an aha moment for the players, understanding how that can affect them on Saturdays?
Most definitely. It's a moment that they definitely glean from. See, most people think you only learn from your losses, but you learn a lot from your wins. You learn a lot from successes. You don't just learn from when you're getting your butt kicked. I never seen a boxer get knocked out and say, I learned a lot from that, right? Like, that does not happen most of the time. And these young men they understand. I asked them a question this morning. If God were to give you what you desired in this game, what would it be? And what would you sacrifice for it? Great question. And the answer, the responses and all that I was trying to get them to understand that whatever you want in life, you're going to have to sacrifice something. If you want a lot, you're going to sacrifice a lot. It's not you sacrifice a little and you get a lot. It don't work like that. Life don't work like that. Life is pretty much consistent, tremendously. And football has no feelings or emotions for you. So what you put in normally, you get out.
That's when any aspect of life, you get what you put out in anything you do in life. if you put in the work, if you put in a lot of work, a lot of dedication, along with the consistency, you usually get what you put out. That is the truth. That's not just football. He's talking about life too, but I just wanted to add my 2 cents.
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
How you doing, sir?
Sports Illustrated. Since your win against UCF, there's been a lot of national media people, some of which personally, have sort of changed their tune on what you in this program can do this year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys notice that, or is noise, whether it's good or bad?
I notice that because I get it from everywhere. I really don't care, honestly, because as quick as they jump on, they can jump off. As quick as they support, they try to dismantle. As quick as they love, they could hate. So I really don't get into that. I know who it is for my purposes. I definitely know who said what for my purposes. And my sons and Darius and all those guys who reach the people. I mean, they and Neely also, they know. They keep me abreast of what time it is, so I know what's what. But as far as the young men, I just don't want them to believe that they arrived. All this hoopla about Jordan Seaton, I say, Jordan, a couple plays they could have had you right there. Our DBs, if they would threw the ball right there, they had us. So don't believe that foolishness. Work on your game and work on your craft. Be the best you could be, but don't believe the hype whatsoever. Let's keep our heads down and stay locked in.
Let's stay focused.
Hey, Coach, background associate press. Nice to see you.
You too.
Procedural question.
Love your hat, man. Love your hat.
Well, George Brett.
George Brett, I grew up on George Brett. I grew up Terry Park. I was hustling balls in the third grade. I used to skip school, bring my little sock. I used to beat everybody running when they hit the home run balls, and I used to get the balls, and I used to sell them during the game. That was my hustle. I used to always make sure I brought the teacher my best ball with an autograph. I used to sit out there where they came out there out of the clubhouse, and I would get their autographs. And I would beg for crack bats. Crack bats was like $10 or $15. A good home run ball and BP was like $3.50, $1.50 bat ball. Amos Otis, I used to go down there in the batting cages and help him pick up the balls. I used to be standing on the gate, little kid, darn 7 or 8 years old. And he used to let me come in and I helped him get up the balls and pick up the balls. And he would give me several of them. And that was my hustle, man. So George Brett, Amos Otis, Willie Wilson, all those guys was my guy. And to top the story off, I was drafted out of high school. Dick Hauser was the manager. Dick Hauser is the one, the late, great Dick Hauser was the one that said, son, if you're good enough for us to draft you right now, I hear you're a pretty good football player. I would go to college and we'll draft you again. And that's why I went and played football, because they offered me a substantial amount of money, even though I wasn't an early round pick. But it's a lot of money from a kid that grew up 2 miles from the place in the hood. So that's my story about the Royals.
Perfect.
Amen. I don't think they'd let that happen, but
Hey, Shiloh.
Mm-hmm. He's ready. Shiloh's ready. He's practicing. He's full go. Has a rubber cast on. He's doing his thing. I can't wait to see him back there, because he and Cam is they're unbelievable together. Carter has done a wonderful job. Got a lot.
Let me just say something real quick. He was mentioning Dick Hauser and stuff like that. That probably was his early connection with the Yankees. Because remember, he got drafted with the Yankees, and Dick Hauser, he played with the Yankees early on in his career. And he was also a manager of the Yankees and the Kansas City Royals, and he was also a coach of the Yankees. So that was probably Prime's early connection to baseball as a kid. That's interesting. That's an interesting history on Coach Prime. Like, that was his early introduction into baseball as a kid, catching those balls. And, he was already acclimated to the field. I mean, it's just that was just a good history on it. And now he's just talking about Shiloh is ready to go. Shiloh, I see that he's not in the yellow caution jersey. I call it caution jersey. He's not in the yellow caution jersey anymore. He's in a regular practice jersey.
Of experience, and he's in on some packages as well. But Shiloh's full go. We should have the entire starting defense this week.
And then to kind of be back up.
Yes, sir.
Can you take any lessons from 3-0 last year and apply to 4-1 this year?
Two different teams, two different situations, two whole different thought processes, even with the staff, as well as the young men we have in this locker room. But yes, me personally, it's some things that I've done tremendously differently in my approach and to detail with the staff, as well as the young men that play on this team, as well as with the support staff as well. So we had a 6:30 meeting this morning to reiterate some things that I wanted to see on the scout teams to give us the look that we wanted and expedite the look. So yes, there has been different things from my approach, definitely. But those are totally different young men that's out there, man. What we have on defense, I think, what is it, 2 players, 3 players that started a year ago? I think that's Cam, Shiloh, and Benson, right? Coach, Shane. Yeah, 4. I'm sorry. That's it. So we have several new players that are really doing a great job for us. And offense, what is it, 2? Shador Travis, Jimmy, 3. That's it. I love it.
Hey, Coach, Jack Harlow, Buffalo's Wire.
Jay Harlow.
We saw a video of you earlier this week telling your team that you guys shouldn't be surprised that you're 4-1.
Right.
Right. You could elaborate a little bit more on that message and why you felt the need to share it.
How can you be surprised that you're winning in life, Jack? How can you be surprised that you put on a nice outfit and somebody tells you?
That just go back to what he said earlier. When you prepare, you prepare, you get what you put out of it. So when you get the success when you put out of it, you should be not surprised because you put in the work.
You look good. How can you be surprised when you get out there in that barbershop and you look in that mirror and say, that's the one? Like, how can you be surprised with the expectation you have for yourself? The only way you can be surprised is you didn't expect it. We expect the results when we put in the work. I just don't want it going to their heads, but we shouldn't be surprised of where we are. We should be appreciative and understanding what allowed us to be where we are, but it should be no surprise to you. So when it's a surprise, you get kind of discombobulated and you kind of take things wrong instead of really looking at it and dissecting why you are where you are. It shouldn't be no surprise to anybody, but I don't want them to be in lackadaisical thinking this is easy, because the wind don't care who attains it. Has no mind, no memory, no whatsoever. Does not care. So it might as well be us if it has no care and no feelings for it.
Hey, Coach, John Treach, I do a slightly different question. 4-1 is an uncommon place, and everything is out there for you, conference-wise, and beyond. To have that right now, I mean, how exciting is that within your program?
It's not, because you don't expect it. I can tell the way you asked the question, but we do. We expect it.
He said, I could tell. He said, I could tell where you asked the question that you didn't expect it, but we expect it. We put the work in, man. We put the work in.
We're some of us are still upset about the Nebraska game. We wish we had that right now.
Yeah, I go back to the Nebraska game. I say the same thing. They beat themselves on that one. But just looking at how Nebraska, I'm not talking about like just their performance. I'm talking about Nebraska's performance. Nebraska, let me just for a second, let me just look at Nebraska real quick. Because I know, teams, they can improve week by week, but I'm just talking about just that game alone. There's a few things. I mean, nothing is perfect, right? You're going to win some, you lose some, but let me look at it. So they played Colorado. They beat Colorado 28-10. The next game, they beat Northern Iowa. They lost to Illinois. Illinois was number 23 at the time, or they number 23 now. And they beat Purdue. They beat Rutgers. So they having a pretty good season. Nebraska is. But just that game overall, I just felt like Colorado could have beat them.
Because we felt like we weren't where we are then, where we are right now. Like, we really expect that. I mean, it's not being cocky or anything like that. That's what we expect. When we practice like we do, prepare like we do, we expect the results. And we have some players that can really play this game at a high level. That's why scouts are here every day. We just happen to have two that, like I said previously, will probably be in the top 2 or the top 5 draft picks. And everybody disputed that, didn't they? This summer? I can't get no help in the church over here. Did they dispute that? I can get some help over here in the church. I know not to look at that style anymore. They disputed that. Hey, he don't know what he talk about. Now, it is what it is. You start seeing this stuff become a reality. It's real. When we didn't speak it into existence. We know what we see. I know this game. You got to give me some kind of credit for knowing this game of football. I played it for 14 years. I covered it for 20 years. I covered it more than some of you guys have covered it. And I know television. I know this game. I know people. I know management.
Yeah, that's a whole fact. Remember, he was a broadcaster. I mean, he was in that field. You know, whether you call him reporter or reporting on the game, analyst of the game, he did it for a very long time. So this is kind of an unusual situation. You know, he doesn't have that much experience as a college coach. Remember, as far as his college credentials as a coach, he coached at Jackson State, and he's on his 2nd year here. So he wasn't in coaching for over 10 years. But, I mean, overall in coaching, he is well over 10 years as well, if you count high school level, right? But, yeah, it's a very unusual situation because he actually covered the game as an analyst. And he was one of the top analysts when he was doing it.
I know what my expectation is. I know how this thing is supposed to look. So I call a spade a spade. Great question, though. Appreciate it.
Hey there.
How you doing, sir?
Is the number just at?
Mm-hmm.
I follow up on what something you just said. You have 3 of the top 10 players in college football now. Travis is 2 of them. And
It's well said.
So now I'm going to go beyond that. We've seen from Travis things that we've seldom seen in college football.
True.
We saw from you in baseball and with us things we seldom have seen from an athlete. Is Travis more talented as an athlete?
It's not me against Travis. I had my turn, man. I'm not a doorknob anymore. You can't just turn me on and off with like a light switch anymore. I don't do that. Travis is everything. It's his turn now. I want him to have all the accolades, all the praise, all the...
Let me just stop right there. I like his answer. He was like trying to compare him to Travis. He was like, look, man, I'm a coach, man. My playing days are over. I don't like really comparing generations either. You know, like how they compare LeBron, Michael Jordan, stuff like that. I don't like the comparison. It's generational. You know, they had their time. T.O. and them, Randy Moss, they had their time already. Now it's a new generation trying to pave their own way.
Love, all the attention, all the focus that he desires. I've had my turn. I'm that old boxing coach in the corner. This is left, right, hit him right here. All right, come on up to the corner. Let me tell you that's who I am right now. I've had my turn. It's not me against him.
Do you see something?
I see similarities in certain areas, especially away from the game. Especially his demeanor away from the game. I absolutely love it. And I love it, who he is in the game. We don't smoke. We don't drink. We're not profane. Travis is a really, really, really good young man. A really good young man. Contrary to what you may think, and this is not a shot at any other program, and God forbid that it transpires, but our kids ain't getting in trouble, man. We got some good young men in this locker room. And I think they should be applauding them regardless of what you say or think about them, regardless of how they perform or how they don't perform this week. They get it right and perform the next week. And they're not getting into trouble. And guess what? The GPAs are tremendous. I just checked them and got on a couple of their butts. But they're doing a great job, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the coaches, and I'm proud of the academic team for the standard that they've set. And we are on our way to where we're headed. And I love the direction. I truly do. Tremendously. Not talking about any other college. Just talking about us. I don't need to step on somebody for us to look taller. Never done that when I played, and I won't do it now.
Jay, go ahead.
Coach Brown, speaking of one of those young men, Nikhil Green, just how would you describe his impact, on the field as a leader for this team as well?
We have a plethora of leaders on that defensive side of the ball, which is a good thing. He's one of them. I cannot praise him without praising Bentley as well. those guys is like they have a silent competition amongst one another to see who gets to the ball the quickest, to see who racks up the most tackles. Those guys are at it. Both of them are a little banged up, but guess what? They fight through it in practice. I try to give them days off, and they still want to work. So his impact on this defense is tremendous. I love the tone. I love the temperament, the aggressiveness, the physicality. I love what he brings to the table, as well as the intellect and insight.
Couple more, Brian, go ahead. Hey, Coach. Brian Howell from Old.
What's going on?
I have a question and a follow-up, but you mentioned you guys are different now than you've been. It does seem like you guys are different from starting when you came out of halftime in Nebraska. How much joy do you get seeing this team kind of growing in confidence right now?
Well, tremendous, because I've seen it well before, and I know coaches get upset because coaches and parents get upset because we know your capabilities. We know what you have inside of you, and we just want you to live out your purpose and what you should be doing. That's why parents get upset with some of y'all in here. And I get upset with some of my kids because of the same darn thing. Coaches are the same way. We're really parenting a football player out there on the field. And just to see them come into their own, just to see them execute the assignments, just to see them want it, just to see them call team meetings on their own and come out here on the practice field and work on their own without us, shoot, that's what you want. I mean, that's the kind of guys that you wanted to gather and call it the team. Those are the type of young men, and those are the men that we have. And yeah, we had to get rid of some luggage because, we had a limited time to go shopping. And I do mean shopping. And it's unfortunate that's what we do now in college football. Even with guys out of high school, you shopping. And you hope that this outfit look good on you. But sometimes it don't when it gets in the light. So it's a good thing. We're happy where we are, but we're a long way from where we want to be.
And just a quick follow-up to that. With the bye, did you worry at all that bye would kind of kill some momentum, or do you think this team came eager to let's keep going?
Worry and faith can't live together. I'm a man of faith, not a man of worry.
Go ahead, Rylan. Last one.
Hey, Coach, Rylan Skullstrom, Rough Report.
That is true. Word and faith can't live together. If you truly got faith, that's what you hang your hat on. That's what you worry about. You're like, okay, I got the faith. Yeah, it was a bye week. We didn't lose no momentum. We got the faith.
You had the opportunity to play against one of the big contributors last year, and a person you've known for a long time in Dylan Edwards. What is it going to be like to face off against Dylan Edwards?
They changed their name to Dylan Edwards? That's what the team is called now, the Dylan Edwards? We ain't playing against Dylan Edwards. We playing against a darn good football team, man. Dylan just happened to be on their team. I love the young man. I love him to life. I really do. And everybody who leaves here in the right manner, as well as just leave, period, I want them to be successful. I have never wished wrongful or bad things on any young man or woman in my life or any of you all. I want you to be successful. And I want you to find your purpose. If you find your purpose and you understand what it is, you won't hate on me. You won't hate on your neighbor, your friend, or your family members. Dylan made a tremendous choice for he and his family, and I support that 100%. I just hate when guys make those decisions and they leave and they shoot back at us. If you going where you're going, you don't shoot back because you're so focused on where you're headed. You ain't got time to turn around and shoot back. So I thank him for not being that guy. And we had some great moments, and he's going to have many more great moments. So I'm proud of him. I just don't want him to perform well against us, but I want him to perform well against every other team. I really do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Coach press conference. I agree with all the stuff he said there. It's just a new day and age we're in, man. With the transfer portal, stuff like that. And like he said, you got to go out shopping, and it's like a mini professional league now. And you just got to fight through it. It's just a new way of doing things, man. But yeah, I look forward to the Kansas State game. Like you said, they're not playing Dylan, they're playing Kansas State. But a lot of people are going to be looking at Dylan for that game, though, just because he started his college career out at Colorado. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a late game though. The game starts at 10 something Eastern Standard Time. So, and hopefully they go into overtime. It'll be well into 1 o'clock in the morning before that game's over. So yeah, man. But look forward to it though. I think it's gonna be a real good game. And yeah, it's gonna be a real good game. And yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know what's going on with the Jets, man. I know y'all heard about it. The coach, he not only did he get fired, he was escorted out. He wasn't even allowed to talk to the team. Some people said it was because of a shirt he wore. It was on the chopping block anyway. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, man, are you guys looking forward to this Kansas State game? Like I said, they got a hell of a running game. They got some fast players. The quarterback is a speedster, and the linebackers will be ready, like that. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a really good game, and I really look forward to that. It's on FS1, I believe, or I can't remember the other channel, but yep, I'm gonna be looking at it, man. I get to handle all my stuff on Saturday, and then come back and watch the game later on that night. Cook something, have my dinner, and then after that, enjoy the game, man. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe as always. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.